Hello, how are you guys? Thank you for coming by. This is Diane. I'm Diane. This is ArtsyWisdom. Thank you for all my new subscribers and my viewers. I love it that you guys keep coming back, giving me comments, giving me questions. In fact, I had a question from Kathy. She was concerned about the meeting, Pistol Pete, as she calls him. She was in the military for like 24 and a half years. Thank you, Kathy, for your service. And she's concerned. She wanted to know if women had hurt him somehow or why he's so against women in the military. What's the deal about? So she wanted me to look into that. And also the people of color in the military. She's concerned about them and what he's going to do to them as well. So I'm going to look into that. Also, the meeting happened, or the meeting of the generals and the admirals, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. It's a General Patton kind of moment, and this guy, Pete Hegseth, doesn't realize he can't read the room. He thinks his ego is about as big as the earth, and he doesn't get it. Anyway, he thinks his shit doesn't stink kind of thing. Anyway, he wanted to rally the troops. He wanted to make us feel like we're a family, at the same time bully everybody and tell them what we're going to do and get rid of woke. And I don't get it, but men in dresses and beards and overweight. So whatever. Anyway, I'm going to look into that a little bit more with the women and the people of color in the military and see what he's going to do with that. And Trump's rambling speech and calling Canada the 51st state again, just pisses me off so much. In fact, I had another viewer ask about Pierre Poilievre of Canada. He's a member of parliament out of Alberta. He was originally out of Calgary. He didn't win for the prime minister's position. He's a conservative. And she wanted to know if Canada would go back to some sanity or civility. And she feels like he's a symptom of the Trumpian era of the United States of Canada. So she wanted me to look into him. And I got some really interesting images. I did meditate on him quite a bit. And I also looked at Canada's future and economy in a way through that lens to see what it would go. And I pulled some cards from my Oracle of Rama, Lord Rama cards, Ancient Oracle of India. I love these cards. They're very crazy accurate. It's like a poem, but it's very cool. And then I'm looking at my notes here. I also I wanted to look at the shutdown, and in the past, I didn't see it. I saw it, something with the shutdown, something with 2 E's, like 3 weekend green week. And I wanted to check into that. So I'm going to look into that time and see what's going to happen with the country and how it'll affect everybody. And will people think, blame the Dems or blame the Republicans or what? I'm going to get a feeling of that. And then Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, she came to mind, and I haven't looked into her for a while. She's a tiny little miniature lady. I wanted to look into her and see what Mexico is planning and how that's going to go in the future, our relationship with them. All right, let's get started. So let's start off with the shutdown. I'm going to get into the energies of people like Mike Johnson and Trump and maybe Chuck Schumer to see what their perspective is. I see Trump, because he threatens all these people. He says we can do anything we want. If there's no government in place, I can get rid of everybody. I don't feel like he's going to do that right now. I do feel like they are going to furlough tens or hundreds of thousands of government workers, some of which may stay in place because their job is essential. But eventually it's going to go. So Trump, from his perspective, if you haven't been here before, I get into their energies and down the hammer. What's the phrase of that? Trump is not doing it yet. When I'm in little Mikey's energy, who, by the way, I have no doubt he's been on Grindr. I don't know. I didn't look at those texts, but I'm no doubt. I've always seen him doing that. But he is reserved. I feel like his energy is like right here, and he is not giving away anything. And Mike Johnson, I mean, he's staying very kind of stoic for him. and he's like split. He's hearing Trump over here, and he's hearing the senators and the congressmen over here, and he's trying to manage both. He is not listening to the Democrats at all. He does not want to deal. He's going to milk this for everything they can to make the Democrats, it's like a free pass or a golden goose or whatever, that they can make this noise up about the Democrats and how they're lying, or how the Republicans are lying, and that they're going to give away, the Dems want to give away free healthcare, Cadillac healthcare, is what Trump said, to the illegal immigrants that are coming over the border. We just want to give them all our money. That's not true. They won't give in. Mike Johnson will not give in. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to hold their guns, at least for now. John Thune, he's a little bit more flexible. I feel like he is considering coming up with a solution, because he hears it from his constituents, I think. He feels like they're talking to him, and he does not want to screw that up. He's a little bit more semi-bipartisan. He's still saying bad things about the Democrats, but better than Johnson. But when it comes to Chuck Schumer, I feel like he's just a blobby mess, just not focused, though. Not focused. I feel like it's just this kind of blob. And he wants to work with them. He wants to get an agreement. But he also knows that the American people are tired of this non-working of the government. And he just wants to push back, to say they push back, even though last time he got a lot of grief for not pushing back. And because he felt like it was just the lesser of the two evils. Chuck Schumer, I feel like Page of Swords. So here he is trying to be intellectual about it, but can't be intellectual about this. And then we've got the fighting, the King of Wands. This is the fire energy of fighting back. So we got this intellectual versus the warrior. Who's going to win? I mean, I hope the intellectual wins, but who can we count on? This shutdown is the American people. I'm going to get in the American people's energy. Let's see. How would they look? How do they see? Democrats, Republicans, the American people. I'm in their energy. Okay. I feel like a Humpty Dumpty character. That's weird. Anyway, so I'm on a wall. Had a great fall, maybe. Republicans. Shut down. So maybe that is the wall. Maybe that's what this is about. I'm on the fence. I feel like the Democrats are getting more credit, and they're getting, because they're talking about the money that they want to use for Medicaid, and they want to keep the subsidies, and the Republicans aren't going to, give in. For now, I think the Democrats are getting more credit, I think. Although these right-wing podcasters might say otherwise, but Democrats. Oh, wow. I got the King of Wands again. That's weird. And the Queen of Wands. So there's being fiery is going to be, we need to get our warrior spirit on, right? And I think that's going to go a long way. Okay. For right now, I don't feel like they're going to slash jobs permanently. Not permanently. People are being furloughed. They're going to run out of money. But Republicans aren't giving in at all. And Hakeem Jeffries, who I'm losing respect for, honestly. I used to love him. And he's actually that fiery energy. I feel like he's that fiery. So maybe he's going to take the lead here. Maybe. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I partnered with Otter Spirit. Today I pulled out a couple of these bracelets that felt right for me. They are a company that only uses AAA or AA grade natural stones, crystals. And today, well, here, they come in this little pretty pouch, and I have a bunch of them. Today, I pulled out aquatic agate, which is, I connect with my inner peace. Of all this chaos going around, I wanted to feel like I could, almost looks like a little bit of an algae kind of look, which I know doesn't, but they're clear. There's some clearness to them, which are really pretty. balance and healing, my throat chakra, and the signs Pisces, Gemini, Cancer, and Aquarius are highlighted. That felt right to me because I use how I feel, how it feels good to me. And then I also did the azurite. Isn't that this? I know it looks a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, not azurite. Lapis lazuli. It's hard. A lot of Z's. There's Z's in lapis lazuli, and this is about I am connected to the infinite wisdom of the universe, and the intention is wisdom and intuition, and my third eye and my throat chakra are activated. So today, these are the colors. Tomorrow or tonight or a little bit later this afternoon, the moon goes in Aquarius, and feeling like that energy feels like these, a little bit of that air sign, throat chakra, moving that around. And they do give 10% to the Wild Otter Fund in Southern California. And there's a discount code in my description box if you guys want to look at their website. And that, just thought I'd share that with you. Just, they're really good quality too. So I wear them quite often. Pierre Poilievre. Is he going to go away? No. I meditated on him, and he's not going to be removed. I think that was her question. And she asked, will things in Canada go back to civility? And I saw him, when I got into his energy, I saw him literally pulling everything off shelves into, seemed like a basket or to something right here. And he's just very active. I don't know if it's an opinion or votes or he wants a lot. It feels like he wants a lot. And the big thing, he wants to win. Because I was asking, I was like, what's your intention? Is it to serve the American people, Canadian people? No, he wants to win. Winning is super important to him. So that's the most important thing. Remember, winning for him. So when he lost that election, man, oh man, that must have been debilitating. And I felt like his wife is very teeny tiny, or her energy is small, or he thinks of her as small, but she feels small energetically, not bad, just small. And I saw him, I was asking, are you going to leave? Are you just going to, do your job and then be a member of parliament and work for Alberta or that district? And he's digging in his heels. He is not going anywhere. I almost saw him like if the dirt is below his shoes and somebody's dragging him, and it's like the dirt is getting raked up. He's not going anywhere. You'd have to take him kicking and screaming out of here. But he's doing so many of these things, and I felt like he needs to pick a lane. There's something about, he feels a little bit sporadic in what he's doing. He needs to stay on one path. That's what I felt he needed to do. And he needs a lot of attention. I felt a very deep need. It's kind of narcissistic in a way. When somebody doesn't, it's like Trump. When they don't get their needs met, they become a narcissistic person because they've been either bullied or made to feel less than, and some people just get depressed. And some people, this was what happens. He just needs attention. He really does. He will always need that. So I almost felt like he was the baby of the family or something like that. He just feels like he didn't get enough love or something as a child. And then I was put into the mind of Canada's future between, the US and just in general. And I saw Mark Carney, and I feel like he's stable. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think most people do. They feel like he's being strong for Canada. And the thing is I pulled some cards. Okay. So you guys, I did the Oracle of Rama cards for this part, and it's a 2-card kind of situation where you pull one from one deck and one from the other. And I'll read this to you. It's so interesting. But first, I felt like things are going to be okay, but we're going to go through a difficult, like, it's not going to get super bad, but it's going to be difficult for a while. Canada, US. And this is karma card. Mostly unfortunate signs and omens are described, showing the effects of individual and collective bad karma. Doesn't mean you have the bad karma, Canada. It just means bad karma somehow down the way. Indications, difficult times are indicated. Take shelter in spiritual practice, seeking God's grace. And whenever there's difficult cards, it's always about being a spiritual place. It really helps you and elevates you and makes you feel like you're not alone, but also that stay focused on the things that are good. External. So what's the external adversity? So I'm thinking it's the US, right? So there's this book. It's kind of a poetry. It's a story with poems in it. Farmers in anguish. Isn't that weird? Farmers in anguish see their crops wither. The rain does not come when due. Famine prevails. Ill omens appear, and people face the scourge of tyrants. Tyrants. So is it China? Is it the US? Is it Trump? And then it says external adversity is at its height. Even nature has turned hostile, meaning you might have some weather phenomenon where you're not. This year, I think the crops were decent here in Saskatchewan. Evil rulers dominate the world. So we're getting a lot of negativity around the world. It's not here. So you're not the ones that are doing the wrong. It's from outside, right? Such effects can prevail in the dark age, Kali Yoga, that we live in. Without devotion, there is no hope. In such times, these negative periods occur in the nature of human life, subject to opposites, meaning yin and yang. There's always a time when things are good and times when things are bad. But Canada's having to endure. That's the feeling. It doesn't mean it's all ending or anything. It just feels like you're going to go through a period of trial. But I don't feel like it's like deep in a hole. I just feel like it's kind of like how it is now, but just it will continue. Then I pulled some of my Ethereal Visions card illuminated tarot deck by Matt Hughes, which I love. And so these are some of the cards I got. So I got let's see, this goes there. I got the Five of Pentacles, which is feeling like you're on the outside and you're concerned. You don't know how you're going to get your food. You feel like you're separate, right? And then we've got the Nine of Cups, which is the wish card, getting everything you wish for. But in this case, I feel like it's an abundance of emotion. And then the next card was Eight of Cups. So these are both emotional cards. They're concern. This is about leaving behind what isn't working. But there's so many things here that I think this is all abundance. So you're only leaving, this is Eight of Cups, leaving two things behind that aren't working. So there's going to be a very lean government. I feel like the government's going to really have to get lean to manage things. It needs to happen, but all the people are good. It's just a harsher time. And then I got, right after that, I pulled the card and see what happens is the Lovers. So there's going to be partnerships. There's going to be a new dawn happening after this. Next year, maybe. Or another, no, these aren't the right cards. Why am I pulling these cards? These are the ones I want. There is going to be a shift next year. But there will be some times where Canada has to pull together. King of Swords. Standing tall, fighting for what you know is right, using all your resources within. Oh, and I got the star on the bottom, which is nice. Having faith in the long term. And also and then there's some Five of Cups, which is sad. But a lot of these are just emotions. They're not necessarily real tangible things. It's difficult and people feel it. And I think there's a mood of how are we going to get through this? Or it's ever going to change and that kind of stuff. It is going to change. It is going to get better. But I think it's more, and that Lovers card was indicative of some partnerships, and it could be with other countries that aren't the United States that you're really going to work with to help the farmers or whoever else is struggling, and the people. The whole world is changing. It's not just Canada. The whole world is evolving or changing or shifting, and the energy around everything is kind of heavy right now. So, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Everything, I feel like, is just going to stay like this, which isn't great, but it's not horrible. So just stay strong and try and keep your emotional self in a positive way. Use gratitude every day. I journal about gratitude, what I'm grateful for, and it really puts me in the right place. All right, let's look at this meeting. Pete Hegseth, I got into his energy about what his goal was. He's very immature. His energy is very um young. He doesn't know. He's like still in a childlike state. I know that sounds weird, but that's the feeling I got. And I went into his energy and I was like, what did a woman do anything to you? Why are you picking on women and people of color? And then I'm in his energy and I saw him, I know this sounds weird, being force fed like a goose. You know, when they force feed geese food, make their livers fat for foie gras. It's gross to watch that happen, but I saw him being force fed. And then, this is my notes, I wrote this down. The only way he knows is harsh. And I felt like his father was the one that force fed him that. I don't know what kind of childhood he had, but I felt like his mother was not strong to push back on his father. And he has a inner anger at her that she didn't push back and she was weak. And so he blames he doesn't blame his father. He blames his mother for being weak. So in internalizing that idea that women are weak, and he's taking it out, his anger, he's taking it out on all women, not just his mother's. He believes women are weak. He sees black men also, or people of color, as an easy path, like they got in their position too easy. It's the same idea where I had to work really hard. I was bullied. It was harsh. I was pushed around, and I feel like you guys have it too easy. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's angry at the world, and he feels like he wants to take it out on people who he feels that haven't been beaten up enough, or that they have it so easy. He's really got a chip in his shoulder, and he's angry at women. I don't think his mother bullied. I think it was his father, and I think he's mad at his mother. So he projects that on all women. Chip on shoulder, immature. He wants everyone to play by the rules, and his base is anger. He has a deep, deep anger, a super deep anger that he wasn't able to verbalize, or, I mean, soldier, you can shoot people. So that's what that hostility is. He says, we can use dominance and we don't have to be, pussies anymore. We can dominate and kill and do whatever we need to. Stop, saying that we don't have to do that and being politically correct. We got to get the job done kind of thing. It's all his deep-seated anger. He's so mad. And I think, this is my, entertainment purposes only. I have no idea if this is true or not, but I feel like it's his father that's starting, and he's mad at his mother for not pushing back. And I think we're all female and male inside of us. So his male part is dominating his female part and he's mad at that. It's so weird. I see alcohol soothing him a little bit, but it also makes him more beastly. And the manic, I feel like he's very manic because it's like he's racing away from himself. It's so weird. And I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable in his body. I feel like when he's exercising, or he's stern, or he's got things as they should be, it makes him feel comfortable and safe. And it's not different. His normal is white men bully. They need to be on top. They need to be in charge. That's his normal. And that's the way it needs to be. When other people come into play, like women or black men or anybody that has a different idea, or a gay person or whatever, it makes him really uncomfortable. And this is all based on his childhood trauma, believe it or not. Yeah, and his father bullied women, but he's manic and he's racing to find the soothing, and he just needs to keep all that out, and alcohol does that for him. Pete. Oh, and I got the strength card. He's trying to be strong, but I look at that and go, okay, he doesn't want to attend to the female part of him, because then it would make him feel disabled. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. I think it was Kathy that asked that. Okay. It's pretty cloudy and foggy today and windy. It's kind of yucky. So the coloring here is sort of dim. Claudia Sheinbaum. I feel like she's very thin, I know she's a thin lady, but I feel like she's very narrow and she's like strong and firm and like a pole. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not swaying in the wind. She's just very firm. Um, in regards to her country and all the cartels and everything, she, okay, I feel like she's working with what she has here, which is, I don't know, city, Mexico City or whatever it is, or the economy. The economy, that's what it is. It's the economy, um, and the legitimate economy, the economy that people produce things, industries, that sort of stuff. And they trade, the car industry, all the products, because a lot of, they make appliances and all kinds of stuff down in Mexico. She's working with that. Now, I see the cartels and I see all the crime and out there, way out there, and it's there. But she's dealing with this right now. She is not, they're not coming in either. So I feel like there's a separation a little bit for now that she thinks if she develops the industries and the economy better, they'll eventually thin out because, if the economy's better, people don't need to sell drugs or run guns or whatever it is. I see her putting something onto the United States soil. Like she wants to, I think it's a trade, but it's more like maybe it's an offset, a trade where we get something in the United States. So they're sending more here. So they want to send stuff to the United States. They want to put things on American soil. I don't know what it is. And so maybe it's fruit, vegetables, that kind of stuff. Um, but cars or parts or something tangible they want to put. So she wants more of a trade surplus on their side, I think, is what I'm feeling. She wants to have more coming into the United States than they bring in from the United States into Mexico, because she wants to sell this stuff here or in the United States. She feels like Mexico needs to sell the stuff there. We need to produce. We need to. Claudia, what do you? She's concerned. There's some concern. I feel like she feels like she's trying to keep the balls in the air, but they're down here, like, um, kind of like those old. You guys remember those on variety shows where they had the sticks and they were doing the plate spinning, and those guys would run around. Remember that? I don't know why nobody does that anymore. Anyway, I feel like it's that she's spinning all the plates and she's trying to keep them moving. Um, I always worried about her getting taken out. I feel like she's got good security. And actually, I feel like she's well liked. That's a feeling I have, but I don't know if that's true. And she won't back down to Trump. She's going to do okay. It's like she's playing a long game. She does what she has to appease him or just, agree to tariffs or whatever it is in certain ways, some small things here or big things there. And it feels like she will do what she has to. She's very strategic. Very strategic. She's also creating something. She's also creating another sector, industry sector, different economy, that they don't need to trade with the United States for, to build something within Mexico that they don't need to depend on us for. There's something else going on there. Or maybe it's several things she's building, but she wants to make them self-sufficient, much more self-sufficient, and trade with China. There's other trading ideas. She has India. There's lots of places that she's building to trade with too, besides the United States, because she feels like we're too much trouble right now. Yeah, so she's trying to build an outside source of income from outside of Mexico, but also within some other industry of producing something material. Is it electronic-y things? Uh, technology things? Something like that. Technology, or it's not just like things like cars. It's something technology, like digital stuff. There's something, maybe she's trying to build that in the country and bring in, give people visas from India to come and work there. I don't know why that came to mind, but I don't know if that's a thing, if that's real. But I feel like she wants to do that. She wants to build the country. She wants to make it better. But she is only working on this area, and those cartels and all the people in the country that are suffering and different things aren't feeling it yet. They're still status quo. But she's not going to give in to Trump unless she absolutely has to. She's very strategic. She's not emotional. Not at all. She's very clear-headed. And she's got a vision, which is awesome. Why can't she be our president? That would be so nice, wouldn't it? Somebody that's smart and has a goal that isn't about getting rid of every person that isn't white and Christian in this world, in this country. I think that was it, guys. Thanks again. Next time, I keep forgetting to do Stephen Miller. It's probably because it's yucky. I don't want to. Anyway, I'm going to look into him here soon. And wish me luck. All right, you guys take care. Stay sane. Be well. Do things that make you feel good. Remember, you have choices. All right, till next time.